What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I am back with another video. This time once again, we're looking at one of the best teams in the NBA, that being the Golden State Warriors. And coming this year, Golden State, they definitely had some big expectations, as many NBA analysts had them made a top 5 seed and making the playoffs. But in a short 7-game sample size, they look way ahead of schedule and like a legit championship contender. So with that being the case, many fans are asking, is the Golden State Dynasty finally back? So that being the case, I'm going to answer that question today and give my overall thoughts on the Golden State team. Now before we get into that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so, and if you could like this video, I greatly appreciate it. So that being said, let's get into the video. So as you guys know, the Golden State Warriors, from 2015 to 2019, they were an absolute terror in the NBA. After 2016, they're the most hated team in all of basketball.
Coming in moments ago, Kevin Durant heading to the Golden State Warriors.
And when they were healthy, it was a foregone conclusion they were winning the championship. Now fast forward 3 years later, and those times are definitely gone. As in the past 2 years, Golden State won 15 games and 39 games. And in both those years, they had a bottom 10 offense.
Damian Lee to inbound. Oh, still looking for Steph. Now Draymond's got it.
What did he do that for?
Draymond shot a 3 with 5 seconds left.
And if you want to look at the silver lining for both those years, you could say Steph Curry got some much needed rest, as well as Klay and even Draymond. And by being so bad, that made them pretty flexible with draft picks, as well as buyout players and free agents. And really looking back on it, not making the playoffs may have been the best thing possible for Golden State, as coming to this year, they are reloaded and have very good depth and a good supporting cast surrounding Steph Curry. And looking at Golden State coming to the year, they were expected to win 48 games, be the 5th seed in the West, and the 9th best record overall. And some NBA outlets even say Golden State would not make the playoffs. But after a very small sample size, Golden State is anything but a mid-tier playoff team. As their overall ranks this year, they are 1st in net rating, 1st in defensive rating, 3rd in points per game, 7th in offensive rating, 1st in assists per game, 1st in made threes, and 2nd in rebounds. Once again, a very small sample size, but a pretty shocking thing for a Golden State team that had mid-level expectations. And a big reason I think Golden State is so good so early is because right now, they aren't relying on Steph Curry for every point and every single basket.
And I'm not allowing Steph Curry to play one-on-one in this situation. Either are they. Curry, step back three. Bang! At the buzzer!
Last year when Steph had an off game or a bad shooting night, Golden State had no chance to win that game. And with Steph averaging 32 points per game, Golden State could still not make the playoffs. And that's why I looked at this year where things have completely changed. As so far in the season, Steph has had 6 games scoring under 30 points. Golden State in those games has a perfect 6-0 record. Last year when Steph scored under 30, Golden State had an 11-14 record. When he shot under 45%, they were 12-11. This year Steph, when he shoots under 45%, Golden State has a 5-1 record. So in both those categories, Steph is seeing much more help on the offensive end, and his team overall is much improved. And if you look at their overall roster, their main core is Steph Curry, Draymond, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins. The guys who aren't back yet and not healthy, who aren't getting big-time minutes, that's Klay Thompson, a big added boost, James Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moses Moody. And on the bench for depth, you have Beljitsa, Gary Payton II, you have Looney, Andre Iguodala, JTA, as well as Otto Porter. Golden State quite literally goes 10 men deep, arguably 12 with some very good role players. And looking at the roster, the biggest surprise has no doubt been Jordan Poole, as in these games, he's a pretty solid option next to Steph. And going forward, I think Jordan Poole will be the X factor off the bench when Klay is healthy. And speaking of Klay, let's say he's 70% of what he was before, I still think that is a big time addition. Maybe his defense isn't the same, but the Warriors also have Andrew Wiggins, a very good and proven perimeter defender. Also looking at James Wiseman, his IQ has to be improved from last year, as it can't get any worse. And guys on the bench like Beljitsa, Gary Payton, Looney, and Iggy, they'll have their moments, but there's no heavy offensive burden on any of the bench players. And when Klay does get healthy, it's going to be the 2015 Warriors on steroids. You have Steph, Clay, and Dre, as well as Iggy. You also have Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole. Looking at the 2015 Warriors, they also had very good depth, guys like David Lee, Harrison Barnes, Bogut, Festus Ezeli, Barbosa, Livingston, as well as Mo Spates. But on the entire roster, there was no better bench player than someone like Jordan Poole. But once again, he's made a big-time X factor come playoff time. And one thing from Golden State that has really impressed me is their ball movement. As very similar to 2015, they are passing and moving with a purpose on offense.
Now they got Bazemore out there, two defenders, wing defenders. Bielitsa the pump fake. Outside, Wiggins, three, bullseye!
Shepard has not scored much in the postseason, out there for his defense as he's trying to harass Klay Thompson. Thompson to Iguodala. Entry pass Livingston. Good ball movement. Thompson with a three. Got it.
And I think looking back to 2015, the parallels from that team and this team are definitely there, as both these teams offensively and defensively are in the top 5 in offensive rating as well as defensive rating. Now for the main question of this video, is the Golden State Warriors dynasty officially over? There's 2 ways you can answer this. Yes, the Golden State of old that is over, the KD Warriors being so dominant, that simply is not happening again. That was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But this year Golden State has a real shot of winning the championship as their team is young, healthy, and they are hungry to get back on top. And when you look across the Western Conference, the big-time contenders, the Lakers and the Suns, they are struggling early out the gate. So in my own personal view, I would say the dynasty is not over. It was something on pause for a 2-year hiatus. And the last 2 big-time dynasties in the NBA have been the Spurs as well as the Lakers. And the Spurs dynasty had a 7-year gap between championships from 07 to 2014. During that time period, they were contenders. They made 1 finals appearance. So dynasties, they can't have a gap. They live with a pause in their championship window. Also looking at Kobe's Lakers and his 5 championships, of course he won 3 in a row with Shaq, but from 03 to 09, there was a 7-year gap of not winning a title. And Kobe, just like Curry, missed the playoffs during that time period. So the Golden State dynasty, it is on pause, and it is coming back in full force this year. And when it comes down to it, they might very well be in the Western Conference Finals and possibly the NBA Finals. It's still early, but they look great. And looking past all the stats, all the data, and NBA history, why I think Golden State is so good so early is because their players, they buy into a system, and they don't leave every 2 years. That for the NBA today is an extremely rare sight. And once again, their core of Steph, Draymond, Clay, Iguodala, they played big-time playoff games, and most importantly, they know how to win championships. Look across the NBA, most teams' problems come from lack of experience and veteran leadership and not having continuity. Golden State has all 3 of those factors, which could be deadly come playoff time. Juxtaposed into the Lakers, who have Westbrook, Melo, and a host of other role players who've come in, that team is learning how to play together on the fly. And come playoff time, if they don't figure it out, that could be their ultimate downfall. So in summary, Golden State, they look great, their dynasty isn't over, and they could very well win the championship, and at the very least, compete for a title. As always, thank you guys for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time.